Hi everyone, Dave Milliken here. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Ahead by a Century by the Tragically Hip, and we'll go through all the different parts of the song. We'll do the intro riff that powers that whole tune, the verse, the pre-chorus, the chorus, and an ending. There will be tab, chord diagrams, strumming patterns, and I'll break down everything for you slowly, step by step, so you'll be able to follow along. You can check out my performance of Ahead by a Century. There is a link to the video in the description below. First off, this song is in an open tuning, open C, and it means that you'll have to retune your guitar, but don't be afraid of an open tuning. It's not that hard. I'm going to show you a couple ways to get there. The strings will need to be tuned from thickest to thinnest, C, G, C, G, C, E. So each of those three notes, the C, the E, and the G, are notes from a C chord, C major, which is where the tuning gets its name, open C tuning. So the first way to get into this tuning is to use your ear. You can play the C, 3rd fret of the A string, and tune the D down until it sounds like that note. And then we're going to tune the other two strings that are C's to that note. You'll need to tune the thick E string down to a C. It'll be an octave lower than the C that we just found on the D string. So just wait until that sounds right. So this C, an octave lower than that C. And then the other string that's a C will be the B string. This one has to go up to C. And then finally, the A string needs to come down to a G. We can tune it an octave lower than this G. Okay, so now we have C, G, C, G, C, E. And you may need to fine tune that a bit. Be aware that when you change your strings, when you change the tension on your strings, it's changing the tension on the whole neck, so even open strings may not be exactly where you left them before you started to detune. Okay, I'm back in standard tuning now. And another way that you can get to open C tuning is to use a tuner, and use a chromatic tuner, by which I mean a tuner that will tell you the exact note you're playing. When you play this note, your tuner should tell you that that's a D sharp or an E flat, not just that you're higher than a D. So that might be a setting on your tuner, or maybe you need a different app, or you can use the tuner like this. And the other thing that you will need to know is just the very basics of music theory. There are 7 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on. And in between some of these are extra notes that can be named as sharps or as flats. So for instance, between A and B, there's this note, which you can call A sharp because it's higher than A, or you can call it B flat because it's lower than B. So we're going to get into open C tuning by first tuning this thickest string from E down to C. So as you detune the string, you're going to see your tuner. It will show you E, then D sharp, then D, C sharp, C. And now once it reads as a C, you'll fine tune it to just make sure it's perfectly on that C. Similarly, A has to go down to a G. It's not very far. A, G sharp, G. D string is going down to a C. C sharp, C. The G string we don't need to change, but be aware that as you're changing these other strings, as I said before, the tension is changing on the guitar. So even though you haven't changed the G, it might not be exactly perfect anymore. So double check that. This is a bit high, I'm bringing it down. Okay, the B string is the only one that needs to go up instead of down. So that will rise to a C. And the E string should stay the same. And it's close. Okay, so now you should be in open C. And you might need to fine tune that a couple of times to make sure it's staying perfect. The strings will have a tendency to rise back up to where they were, so you may sometimes need to adjust. So just check it every now and then. For this song, you'll need to capo at the 2nd fret. Let me show you one thing. I'm in standard tuning again. If I play a C chord and I capo at the 2nd fret, I've moved the pitch up by 2, right? 2 frets means 2 semitones, 2 steps through that scale from C to C sharp to D. So this chord, although it looks like a C, it's actually a D. Compare it to, with no capo, D. It's almost the same sound. So when I'm describing chords in this video, I'm going to be naming them according to how they sound. The pitch is D, not how they look, which in this case looks like a C. Now I'm back in open C tuning. So this is a C chord. I put my capo on 2nd fret. This is now up 2 frets. So this is a D chord instead of a C chord. Be aware that putting the capo on can make some strings go sharp. Some of the bass strings might go sharp on you. So you may need to fine tune it once you put the capo on. So again, you can use the tuner or your ear for that. If you're using your tuner, it should read D, A, D, A, D, F sharp. And you can adjust your tuning with the capo on, that's no problem. So now let's finally tackle this iconic intro that sounds so great in this open C tuning. So let's run through the chords first. I wouldn't worry too much about the names. You're really just trying to pull out this melody on top of a D bass note when hitting some of the open strings as well. So it starts with this chord. Moves down 2 frets. Now I would actually start to hit these chords in the way that you'll need to when you're playing the song. So by hitting your upstroke from a certain note, you're pulling out the melody, okay? So after that first chord, the 2nd chord you're going to be hitting with an upstroke from the 3rd string. And then the next chord from the 2nd string. Back to the first chord, but from the 3rd string. Then you're taking the 3rd finger off, again from the 3rd string. You hit that last one twice, then you're down to this chord. This will be with a down strum now. Then you'll be hammering on the 3rd finger to get this chord. And then take it off again. And then from here you'll be sliding up that 2nd finger back to where you started. So a little bit faster through that chord sequence. that just keeps repeating over and over again. Here it is at speed. And I've got the tab there as well. Be aware when you're reading the tab that all the numbers are from the capo, right? So, that first chord I'm really playing, it's at the 11th fret on the guitar, but it's going to read as a 9 in the tab because you're 9 frets from the capo. And that's done in case the capo's in a different place, you know how to play it relative to where that is. So you play the intro pattern 4 times, and then you arrive at the verse, which sounds like this. First thing we climb a tree, and maybe then we talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts. So that first half of the verse is all on the same chord. It's a D chord, just the open strings. And the strumming is in slow motion, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. A bit faster, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Now, at the end there, instead of doing the last 2 downstrokes, you can do this nice little lick that they throw in, which sounds like this. So that is simply on the first down strum, you're hitting the open string, open 5th string. Then you're hammering the 2nd finger in to the 2nd fret. And then you're hitting these other strings open as you take that finger off. 4, 3, 2, those 3 strings open. So in context, it sounds like this slowly. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Faster. Now the second half of the verse. Illusions of someday, casting gold light, no dress rehearsal, this is our life. It's the same strumming pattern, but now you're moving through a couple of other chords. The first chord is this one. It's a C sus2. I'm blocking the thickest string by touching with my 2nd finger, and I'm blocking the thinnest string by touching with this part of my palm. So, if that rings, it's not the end of the world, it just sounds a bit richer. So you'll strum the C sus2 with the same pattern from before. Then the D with the lick. Then back to the C sus2. But on the last 2 down strums, you flatten out your first finger in order to get that note, which turns it into a C chord. Back to the D. So after the verse, you're going to play the intro 2 more times, and then you'll get to the pre-chorus, which sounds like this. That's where the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoked them out. So these are the same chords, but the strum is going to change. Leave it the same for the first chord, the open D, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then you're going to move to this C sus2, and the strum here changes. Nice and slow. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Now you see those, what look like greater than signs, those are accent markings. So those strums need to be louder than the others. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And a bit faster. And then you'll move back to the D, keep this new strum. You could do the lick at the end of that like before. I'm singing, so I'm not thinking about it at that point. Then we go back to the C sus2, and we will make that change that we did in the verse of going to the C by barring down. So you get you're changing that chord on the last down, up, down. So it's C sus2, C, and then back to the D to finish off the pre-chorus. So let me play that all the way through for you without the singing, slowly. From there, we're going to move to the chorus. The chorus sounds like this. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. So just these two chords here, and you're using the strum from the pre-chorus. The first chord is an A6. You're blocking the thickest string with your thumb. And then you're moving to a G major 7. This time I'm leaning my pinky so as to block this 5th string. And if this chord is tricky, because it's a bit stretchy, you could also play this, which is a G major 7 sus2. It sounds pretty close. Again, blocking that 5th string by leaning the finger a little bit. And the strumming pattern, like we had before, down, down, up. Faster. Back and forth, and then there is that break, right? When you get to the end of the chorus, it's you are ahead by a century. So you'll get the down, down, up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4 into your intro pattern, which you will then do 4 times into the next verse. And then in between the verse and the pre-chorus, the next time, they changed up a bit. It's where the electric guitar comes in, and they don't do the normal riff, this one. Instead, they just strum away on the D chord. So that sounds like this. So the strumming pattern there is down, down, up, down, down. Now, that's all cool if you have electric guitar coming in to support you. When I do the song, I just do the normal intro riff there because I think it sounds good. Up to you. So after that, you will go to your pre-chorus and then the chorus. This last chorus is twice as long. So you are hit by a century. You are hit by a century. You are hit by a century. Keep going. You are hit by a century. You are hit by a century. You are hit by a century. And disappointing you've getting me down. So again, you'll have that little break at the end of the chorus, which this time is filled in by the vocal. And disappointing you's getting me. And disappointing you's getting me down. So I just shortened the ending there, but normally they do 6 times on the intro and then finish on the D. I think in my video I do 4, just then I did 2. But on that last one, I would just come back to the open D. I'm not doing the slide at the end there. I'm just jumping from that chord to the open D. And then it's always nice to do a little roll at the end. You just slow down your pick. Okay, that's the tune. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my full performance of the song. You can find that in the link below. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks.